Hi everyone, welcome to another edition of the DJ Roscoe Sports Show for this Friday, now Saturday, late night edition. DJ Roscoe Sports Show now, what is it? It was Friday, November 5th, now it's Saturday, November 6th, 2021, Colonial Palatial State, here in Dallas, Pennsylvania. This week, if it's Saturday, must be minimum sports talk, right here on the DJ Roscoe Sports Show. Very happy with you once again. I got my drink here, my meal to keep me awake. I have to go to sleep shortly after this because I got a Penn State Scranton basketball game to cover tomorrow. That'll be exciting. They're opening tip-off for the men's team. Got to do a scrimmage for the women's team. Got to be like the public address announcer, kind of, announcing the plays and everything like that. That was pretty awesome, an adrenaline rush. So hopefully I can do more of that, and I'll hopefully write an article recapping that. I just came back from a exciting, thrilling football game, the Class 3A Eastern Conference Championship game at Nanticoke High School. The Nanticoke Trojans, they knocked off the Schuylkill Valley Panthers 21-14. They win the championship. They got their medals, they got their plaques, and got to interview their head coach Ron Bruzza after the game. And it was just an exciting time. I wrote the article. It'll be in Saturday's new edition of the Times Leader newspaper sports section. So check it out if you get a chance. And then I'll also post a link of it on Facebook and Twitter, and also the video interview I did with their head coach. So very excited to do that. High school football season, regular season's over. Now we're in playoffs. Got to do 11 straight weeks of high school football. Went from hot weather, lightning, and rainy, stormy, humid, warm days in the late summer months as we started high school football in late August. Now we're in November. It's freezing cold. It's frigid out there. We took the kids to the park this morning. It was a little. There was some frost. The windshield has to be cleaned off now. Just a mess. It's only going to get worse than this. It was slippery. My kids were like, they loved it. It was like they were luging in the Winter Olympics that are coming up soon. They were like flying down the slide, and I had to catch them just to make sure that they stayed in one piece. But fingers crossed, everything worked out. But yeah, it was a fun time covering the high school football season throughout the 2021 season. Got to cover all 11 weeks, 10 regular season games. Got through a playoff game. We'll see what if there's a game next week for me to cover. If not, it was a heck of a ride. Very excited. Hopefully I can do it again for year number 9 next year. This completes my 8th season covering high school football games for Times Leader Sports. It's just a thrill a minute. No matter what the weather challenges may be, it's fun. It's exciting. Love to cover the game, keep the stats, interview the coaches and players, and write articles and talk about it. So very excited to do that. And so we did that. We're doing basketball now for Penn State Scranton. We're going to do that. We're going to do the Scranton Half Marathon if I somehow survive this Sunday at 9 o'clock. And we'll remember, we fall back. You spring forward an hour, you fall back an hour. So tomorrow night, later tonight actually, Saturday night at 2 a.m., we revert back an hour to 1 a.m. And remember to set your clock start way. I got to remember to set my clock start way. Got to remember that Seinfeld episode with Sean Paul. You can't mess up so you could actually make the marathon on time. He still would have made it on time, but then he spilled a scalding hot coffee on himself in that funny episode of Seinfeld, Jean Paul, and all that stuff, and Kramer's hot tub, and the power shortage and all that. But I'll be trying to drink a lot of Mio, a lot of water, and I'll try to survive my 5th Scranton Half Marathon, 9 a.m. start, and it should be exciting. Get to finally do that after last year. It was only a virtual event because of the pandemic, so very excited to get a chance to do it. Hopefully I can survive, get my 5th medal, get another shirt, get another Electric City blanket, and just have a good old time. And hopefully everyone is out there supporting people. They have a safe, happy, and healthy race, and all your loved ones and friends, family can cheer you on, and it should be a thrilling time. So very happy with Electric City on Sunday for that. Tomorrow on Saturday, later tonight for the basketball game in Dunmore at Penn State Scranton, and coming to high school football. So a lot of exciting stuff. Also want to do a quick shout out. Happy Veterans Day upcoming this Thursday. There's a Veterans Day parade this Sunday in Wilkes-Barre. If you want to check that out and support our men and women in the service, they've given the ultimate sacrifice, putting their lives on the line for us. So you have to just you really appreciate all the sacrifices they've made along the way, past, present, and future people of the military. So hopefully everyone has a happy Veterans Day. The parades and everything, and just remember why we're celebrating for these brave men and women who've done so much for our great way of life and no matter how many times people might complain about the United States, it's still a great country. I still think it's the greatest country in the world. But yes, we have things to fix. But it's because of people who put their lives on the line, like these brave men and women in our services. And so just wanted to hope everyone has a great day. Veterans Day. Hopefully everyone voted on Election Day. Get out and vote. And so that was important as well this past Tuesday. And so yeah, a lot of important stuff. Congrats to the Atlanta Braves. They win their first World Series title in 26 years. So I know they're saying, hallelujah, hallelujah. The first World Series championship, 26 years since 1995, when year after year, the Atlanta Braves in the 90s made the World Series almost every year, but they lost them almost every year, besides the 95, and they beat the Cleveland Indians, who are going to be the Cleveland Guardians now. And those were the great teams that had Greg Maddux, John Smoltz, Tom Glavine, Steve Avery, great pitching, Chipper Jones hitting, Ryan Klesko, Javi Lopez, Rafael Furcal, all those great hitters finally broke through, won that World Series in 95, and this squad that no one really expected to have a chance, and Ronald Acuna Jr., their superstar power hitter outfielder, who's going to be a great player for years to come. He tore his ACL, got hurt. You really thought the season was over. They were under 500 around the hovering around 500, under 500 around the All-Star break, and it looked like it was a lost season. It's kind of like the Washington Nationals in 2019, 2 years ago, where you thought it was over, and no, they kept pushing. They got the trade deadline. They added Jock Peterson, who won the 2 World Series in a row last year for the Dodgers, now for the Atlanta Braves. They added lots of key members to that squad. And Eddie Rosario, big clutch hit, so won the NLCS MVP, and then just they got it done. The Braves. Freddie Freeman, finally 12 years into the big leagues, going to be a free agent this year. Hopefully the Atlanta Braves can resign him. He belongs to be in Atlanta for years to come with how great he's been there for the team, the community. But if not, any team will be lucky to have him. And what a way to go out. So he had a great run, and his little son, Charlie Freeman, very cool to see him. And then sometimes he would throw batting practice, like for his, or play with him in T-ball and throw batting practice him before World Series games. So Freddie Freeman finally wins his long-awaited championship. Max Fried pitched great in the clincher game in Game 6, beat the Houston Astros. He got a tip of cap to Dusty Baker. Great run again. With a lot of obstacles, with a lot of people hating the Astros because of their cheating scandal, but they still find a way to get it done. They've been to 5 straight American League Championship Series, been 3 of the last 5 years in the World Series, but as Peterson can't stand the Red Sox and especially the Astros with the cheating, I'm happy they got the World Series, but they lost again. So they still have only won that 2017 World Series Championship, which to me is not fully legitimate because of the cheating when they beat the Dodgers. So they lose the World Series like they lost to the Nationals 2 years ago. They lose the World Series this year. Dusty Baker's still trying to waiting for that long-awaited World Series championship. It would have been nice to see him get one, but in the end, the Atlanta Braves got it done. They were the team of destiny. A lot of people didn't expect him to do it. Jock Peterson wore the crazy pearl necklace. Looked like he was trying out for a cast member of the Golden Girl reboot or something like that. But it was a fun team. Big clutch hits. And they overcame so many obstacles between injuries and disappointments here and there, and they found a way to, going in the last week of the regular season, the Philadelphia Phillies and Bryce Harper, who's probably won the National League MVP, who had a great year, they were challenging the Atlanta Braves and almost beat them for that division crown. So they barely get into the playoffs. They win the division, and then in the NLDS, they beat the Milwaukee Brewers. A lot of people didn't think they'd win that. I thought they'd win that. Didn't think they had much of a chance to beat the Dodgers, who had such a great season, won over 100 games, knocked off the San Francisco Giants, who had a great season. Tip of the cap to the great Buster Posey, retiring after 12 years in the big leagues. Deserves to be a Hall of Famer. I know his career stats might not be up there with everyone, with only 158 homers and 700 RBIs, 1,500 hits, but 3 World Series championships, a National League batting title, an MVP, heart and soul of the Giants on and off the field. So great 12-year career. Now he gets to be with his young family and hopefully have many great years with them. But yeah, the Dodgers beat the Giants in the NLDS in 5 games, and then the Braves found a way to revenge the Los Angeles Dodgers, who came back from down 3-1 last year in the National League Championship Series, to knock off the Braves on their way to the World Series title. This time the Braves get it done. They were up 3-1, and got to 3-2. You think, oh, it's about to happen again. They're about to choke again. They're about to blow another big series lead. Nope, they got it done. They won in 6 games in the National League Championship Series, get to World Series First time since 1999, 22 years ago, when the Yankees swept the Atlanta Braves in the 1999 World Series to close out the end of the century. And they had been to five World Series appearances in the 90s, won only one of them, and then finally, over 2 decades later, they get back to it. This time they were underdogs by many people to the Houston Astros, because the Astros, Jose Altuve, Carlos Correa was going to probably leave in the free agency. Love to see the Yankees get him. All the big time power hitters, all the great Astro players. A lot of people thought, including myself, well, the Astros were going to find a way to get this done. The Atlanta Braves would not be denied. They got it done, and they win this. Even on Halloween night, when the Atlanta Braves had a grand slam in the first inning, you're like, this is game over. They hadn't lost the game in a postseason game at home Atlanta. The Astros came back to win that game, got to Game 6. They would go play back at Minute Maid Park, back in Houston for Game 6, and potentially Game 7. You're like, oh, maybe we got to worry. Maybe the Atlanta Braves will find a way to collapse. They didn't. They showed great perseverance and determination. They would not be denied. Atlanta Braves get it done in 6 games over the Houston Astros to win the 2021 World Series championship. Jorge Soler, another great player they got in the trade deadline, he wins the World Series MVP, very much deserved. Hit 3 go-ahead home runs, included in the World Series clincher on Game 6 on Tuesday night. So we had baseball in November because the Astros won on Halloween. the Atlanta Braves got it done, and Atlanta Braves also, they stole a base, so we got free tacos at Taco Bell. All of America did on Thursday, a couple of days ago. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Great promotion. So congrats, Atlanta Braves. First World Series championship. I'll have a lot of friends who are big Atlanta Brave fans. I'm glad for you guys. You've waited long enough, over 2 decades, 26 years in the making. 2021 World Series champions, the Atlanta Braves. Congrats. Now hopefully you can re-sign Freddie Freeman and have another great run in you. So I want to talk about baseball. Now that's over. I'm going to miss baseball because I'm a diehard baseball fan. That's my number one sport I've always loved. Now we go into the off season. A lot of wheeling, dealing, trades, off-season acquisitions. The Mets can't get someone to run their front office. There's a lot of craziness with that. And then also you have to worry about the negative part of the game, the business side. Will the collective bargaining agreement that's going to expire this off-season, will the players and the owners be able to come to an agreement and not have to go on strike or a lockout and not have to miss any games this season? That's the hope. Because opening day for Major League Baseball, spring training is supposed to start in February. Opening day for the Yankees is supposed to be March 31st against the Texas Rangers in Texas. I am hoping the Yankees can play that day, and it's not that we're in a strike or a lockout. So hopefully the billionaire owners and the millionaire players get together and get this done. I still am worried. I think we might have some sort of work stoppage. We'll get a season in, but it might be a shortened season. This season, after we only had the 60-game season, we were lucky to have that in 2020 because of the pandemic. We got the full season in 2021, 162 games, full postseason. I'm hoping we can find a way to get that done, but I'm worried about that. So we hope for the best with baseball. Basketball and hockey been exciting. The Baby Penguins lost tonight, or on Friday night in Wilkes-Barre and Mohegan Sun Casey Plaza. So Baby Pens are playing pretty well to start the season. So hockey well underway. Rangers, Penguins, Flyers. Penguins edged the Flyers the other night in overtime. Battle of Pennsylvania, 3-2 in a big time showdown. Penguins and Flyers. Sidney Crosby was back after he missed the first few games to start the season. So hockey's back in full force. Basketball's back in full force. The New York Knicks are playing great. They came back from down by like 20 points, a little like 1,000,000 points tonight. And they came storming back when I came home from the football game. Beat the defending world champion Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks. Beat them on the road in Milwaukee. Great job by Derrick Rose and the New York Knicks and Julius Randle. They got it done with all their veteran players. Tom Thibodeau, Knicks playing great. Brooklyn Nets crushed the Detroit Pistons. They're playing well even without Kyrie Irving, the mandate. Will he be vaccinated or not? Who knows? And now, of course, Aaron Rodgers. He wasn't vaccinated, and he's going to miss this week, and so it's not going to be the State Farm pitchman battle of the great quarterbacks of Pat Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers like we thought would be Jordan Love's first start in the NFL. So a lot of craziness with that, but college basketball underway. As before you know, it'll be March Madness, just like that. It goes quick. And then hopefully we'll get through this cold real quick. NBA basketball, hockey back in full force, very excited. Baseball, only off season. Hopefully they can have an agreement so we can have a full season in 2022. But great, World Series run by the Atlanta Braves. And then football, like I said, high school football playoffs. Penn State, they're struggling. They lost 3 in a row. I thought they would play Ohio State tough, and then Ohio State pulled away at the end. Hopefully after starting with 5-0, everything looked great for We Are Penn State. Love my Penn State football. They've lost 3-0. They're 5-3. Hopefully they get back in win ways on Saturday. Later today, they will play on the road at Maryland, University of Maryland, and hopefully they'll get it done. It's a winnable game. They should be able to win this game. I think Maryland's quarterback is still Tua, the Miami Dolphin. topsy-turvy quarterback. Was he going to play or not? And they ended up not training for Deshaun Watson so he's going to be the quarterback for the rest of the year as long as he stays healthy for the Dolphins. Tua's brother, I think, is still the quarterback of Maryland, and I think last year Maryland was able to upset Penn State. So, but hopefully Penn State will get it done, get back to winning ways, and become bowl eligible, get their 6th win, and break this 3-game losing streak later today. So hopefully they get that done. Notre Dame's coming off a big win over North Carolina last week. They're rolling. Still have a chance to get into the college football playoffs. Alabama is right there. They had the top 4 college football teams in the college football playoffs so far, and they're right there. Oregon's in there. Alabama, Georgia's number 1. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. So college football, very excited as that happens. Hopefully Penn State gets back to win ways. Talked about basketball, hockey, baseball, and now let's get down to it. Week 9, it's flying by. But this is an extra week this year. It's 18 weeks in the NFL season, basically the midway point, as we get our 17th, our extra game in the regular season this year. And by the way, I'm wearing Manhattan College. My great sister, who's going to be 21 in April. I was a freshman in high school in sports. I'm getting old. I'm getting too old for this stuff, as they said in the Lethal Weapon movies, Danny Glover and Mel Gibson. She gave me this. She goes, Manhattan College. She's a junior, so I'm very proud of her. All the great stuff she's doing, and I know she's going to be a great success. So support Manhattan College, even though I'm Marywood Pacer alum for college, and now help out Penn State Scranton, but supporting her with Manhattan College, living life in New York. But week 9 of the NFL season, 2021 season, of course, it kicked off with my Jets in green. They were actually in their road white jerseys. They lost 45-30 to Carson Wentz, the Colts. The Colts ran over the Jets defense. Jets didn't have an answer to stop Carson Wentz. Jonathan Taylor at running back. The Jets, and then they was it Marcus May, great defensive player. He tore his ACL. He's out for the season now. Terrible. Just when Mike White, the backup quarterback, because Zach Wilson has a sprained knee since the Patriot game, played so great, got the big upset win just on Halloween just a few days ago against the Bengals, which I didn't think they had a chance to do. It was a great win. He gets hurt early in that game after throwing a touchdown pass. They go to Josh Johnson, their 3rd-string quarterback, and he played pretty well. Threw for, I think, over 300 yards, threw 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Elijah Moore played pretty well receiver for the Jets, but they scored 30 points, which should be enough. The defense got run over by the Colts, so they were embarrassed. So hopefully they turn around, and now they get the 10-day break. And then next Sunday, November 14th, my wife, my goddess, so great president Abby, I love you. Vice President, her mom's who wear a Buffalo Bill jersey on the road in Jersey at the Jets Stadium, MetLife Stadium. She might get booed, who knows? But her Buffalo Bills will be heavily favored against my New York Jets, Jets. Next Sunday, November 14th, we'll be at that game. Lorelai, LJ, the beautiful little kids here you see in the picture, my wife, myself, and her mom, Fran Lewis, will be at that game, Jets Bills. So it should be interesting next Sunday. But they lose 45-30. We'll see if Zach Wilson could be back by then. If Mike White could be healthy, who will be under center quarterback for the Jets? Yet to be seen. So we'll see what happens. They've shown some promise in offense the last couple of weeks. Defense, a lot to be desired. But tip of the cap to Carson Wentz. He's staying healthy right now. You cross the fingers, knock on wood. And Jonathan Taylor, great running back, ran over on offense, and Carson Wentz picking them apart in the secondary. Great running and passing game for the Colts this past week, and they embarrassed the Jets 45-30 to start Week 9 for Thursday Night Football. Now Sunday, November 7th at 1 p.m. on Fox, it's the Atlanta Falcons at the New Orleans Saints. It's tough. Jameis Winston, who was the Saints quarterback, playing pretty well with the great quarterback genius Sean Payne. Of course, Drew Brees is retired. People generally should get him out of retirement working for NBC, having more hair than he ever did in his life since he was a teenager probably. But now Jameis Winston's out for the year. He tore his knee on Halloween when they had the big upset win against Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home in New Orleans. They're going to probably let Trevor Siemian start, but they're also going to have Taysom Hill with his gadget and kind of wildcat Tim Tebow type of offense play as well. I'm going to go with the Saints here. I think the Atlanta Falcons, they barely beat the Miami Dolphins the other week. They're not a great team. Matt Ryan's trying his best as a proud veteran quarterback, but I think New Orleans still might be in a lot of problems here, and maybe they should go after a Cam Newton, sign him as a free agent. Trade deadline's over. There's no Deshaun Watson or trade or anything like that with all the off-field problems he's having. So maybe they can get to Cam Newton, but maybe they keep Taysom Hill and Trevor Siemian. They can find a way to make it work. I think they're 5-2, so they still have a decent chance to make the playoffs. But losing James Winston's going to hurt. He was playing pretty well. But I think the Saints, at least against the Atlanta Falcons for this week, won't miss him too much because the Falcons are a pretty mediocre team in the division. I think the Saints at home, they find a way to get it done. It might be ugly, but I think they win 23-16. They win by 7 with the Atlanta Falcons on Sunday. 1 o'clock on Fox, the Denver Broncos, who've been struggling mildly, but they beat the stinky Washington football team, who everyone's beating now. They're 4-4. They did trade Von Miller, one of their great defensive pass rushers in the game for many years, helped lead them to that Super Bowl victory when Peyton Manning was on the team with the defense led them to that Super Bowl 6 years ago. He got traded to the LA Rams. Now the LA Rams are stacked, trying to make a run at the Super Bowl. So great for Von Miller to have another chance to win. But I think the Broncos are basically saying that even though we're 4-4, we started off 3-0. We lost a bunch of games in a row. We're still kind of in it, but they don't really believe in this team. Terry Bridgewater is more of a game manager. Not going to do that great on the road against the Cowboys. The Cowboys found a way to win on the road on Halloween night on Sunday Night Football with Cooper Rush at quarterback when Dak Prescott couldn't get hurt, couldn't play because he was hurt with the calf injury, a last minute scratch. Either way, whether it's Cooper Rush or the band Rush or Rush Hour the movie or Dak Prescott, who's supposedly practicing going to play on Sunday, I think the Cowboys win against the Broncos. But if Dak Prescott is healthy with all his offensive weapons, CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, and coming Ezekiel Elliott, too much firepower. The Cowboys, either way, are going to win. They're rocking, playing great, 7-1. Even though a lot of America either loves them or hates them, like Notre Dame or the Yankees. Well, Cowboy fans, you're excited. How about the Cowboys? They're going to move to 7-1. They're going to crush the Broncos at home in Dallas. Prescott will come back, put up big numbers, I think, and the Cowboys are going to win. I'll go with 34-17. They win by 2. They double them up, win by 17 points. 1 o'clock on CBS, the New England Patriots at the Carolina Panthers. New England Patriots got a big win after crushing the Jets the week before. Everyone does that, basically. But besides the Titans and the Cincinnati Bengals, 2 possible playoff teams, the Jets found a way to win at home in those games. But a lot of teams crushed them. But the Patriots then backed up that win against a Jets team. They were able to on the road in LA beat Justin Herbert, the great young quarterback, the Chargers. Found a way to keep that game close, win 27-24, impressive win. I think they're going to go on the road, play the Carolina Panthers. Sam Darnold, the Panthers have been struggling lately. Christian McCaffrey supposedly coming back from the IR list, injured reserve list, but I still think in the end the Patriots, Mac Jones, is going to get it done. Been efficient, not turning the ball over, throwing for a good amount of yards. Good pass percentage with his completions. Defense is top notch with Bill Belichick, which is not a surprise. I think the Patriots are going to knock off Carolina. I'll go with 27-17. They win by 10 points over the Carolina Panthers. 1 o'clock on Fox. Minnesota Vikings at the Baltimore Ravens. I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens coming off a bye week. Lamar Jackson and company. Rushing attack, throwing the ball when they need to. Defense is top notch. Great tight end for Baltimore. I think Mark Andrews is his name. I think they're going to crush Kirk Cousins, Dalvin Cook, and the Vikings. I think at home Baltimore they'd be ready to go. I've had an extra week to think about that bad loss to the Cincinnati Bengals a couple weeks ago. I think it's going to be a tough game, but I think in the end the Baltimore Ravens are going to win this game. I'll go with 27-20. They win by 7 points over the Vikings. CBS 1 o'clock. The Cleveland Browns, who released Odell Beckham Jr. Anyone can sign him. Of course, everyone thinks Brady and the Buccaneers will find a way to get him, and he has a lot of respect for Brady, which is not a shock, and maybe he can win another championship just like Antonio Brown did. So, who knows? OBJ, Odell Beckham Jr. was a great Giant, but kind of played his way out of there. Now Cleveland couldn't get along with Baker Mayfield, played his way out of there. Who knows what's the next chapter for him, but who knows if that will help or hurt Cleveland. Either way, I think Baker Mayfield, who's banged up with the labrum injury in his shoulder, can only muster 10 points. The Steelers beat them 15-10 on the road in Cleveland, get revenge for that playoff loss on Halloween afternoon last week. I think Cleveland's in a lot of trouble. They're going on the road to play the Bengals. Joe Burrow, I know the Bengals still put up points last week. They blew a big lead late to my stinky Jets, but I think Bengals at home. They lit up the Ravens recently, a division rival. I think they're going to light up their division rival and in-state rival, Cleveland Browns. I think the Bengals win this game. I'll go with 30 to, I think at best the Browns get 20. I think 30-20. Bengals win by 10 over Cleveland. Big win for the Bengals. Browns continue to struggle. And we see what happens to Odell Beckham Jr. where he signs. Maybe Tampa Bay, as I said, because they'll find a way to get him and be the great juggernaut they are. And Brady finds a way to get that done. 1 p.m. on CBS. Nana France Buffalo Bills. Easy win this week. Not going to win. I don't want to jinx them, but they should be able to crush my buddy Dan's Jacksonville Jaguars at home in Jacksonville. I'm sure the Jaguars are going to be hyped up. They're going to be excited, but they just got destroyed on the road against the Bengals with backward Geno Smith. Made him look like the greatest quarterback and greatest thing since sliced bread. Trevor Lawrence, up and down rookie season, which he's trying to do his best. At times shows like he has promise. Don't think Urban Meyer will be there for the long haul. Maybe gets through the year, but Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen company, running, passing, too much. Bills defense, they'll get really confused. Trevor Lawrence and Urban Meyer not going to have an answer. Bills crush the Jaguars. Lock of the week. I'd be shocked if it's close. I'll go with 34-13. They win by 3 touchdowns, 21 points to destroy the Jaguars before they play my JTS Jets next week. Bills win big over Jacksonville. 1 o'clock on Fox. The Tennessee two teams that have started off the year terribly. The Houston Texans at the Miami Dolphins. They decide, instead of trading Deshaun Watson to the Miami Dolphins supposedly had an agreement in place in principle. Didn't happen. These Texans wanted 3 first-round picks. There's still a lot of legal issues to decide of what's going to happen to Deshaun Watson. Maybe get decided in the offseason, but it looks like Deshaun Watson's going to get paid, I think, about $35 million a year this year to do nothing, to not play, because the NFL is like, he's technically eligible to play, but they don't want to let him play right now. He demanded a trade. He has a lot of off-the-field issues to take care of in the legal system right now. So that won't be the results, at least the offseason. So now it's going to be 2 of the rest of the season. Miami Dolphins, who are struggling mildly, against Houston Texans, who are struggling mildly. No J.J. Watt, who's unfortunately out for the season now with the Arizona Cardinals. No Deshaun Watson, who's a great quarterback, but very troubled right now. The Texans, it's an ugly game. It's disgusting. 2 teams that are playing terribly. But I think the Miami Dolphins at least are a little skosh better. Tua will find a way. I think he's at times getting ripped too much. He's not great, but he's not horrible. Texans are horrible. I think the Dolphins win this game ugly. I'll go with 16-13. They win by 3 points over the Houston Texans on Sunday at 1 o'clock, but a very ugly game. 1 o'clock on CBS, the Vegas Raiders at the New York Giants. A West Coast team going to East Coast doesn't bode well for them, and a horrible week for the Raiders. A couple weeks ago, John Gruden scandal broke out with the emails. He's out of the NFL. They've been playing well since he had to resign. Raiders, Derek Carr having a solid year, playing pretty well. But then Henry Ruggs III, there's fast, their speed wide receiver, was released from the team. Horrible DUI, tragic accident, took the life, I think, of a 23-year-old lady behind the wheel of a car when he got into this accident, of driving like 156 miles per hour, I think, in a sports car. Horrible decision. Drink and drive. Never drink and drive. Especially if you're, no matter who you are, but especially as a rich athlete, you get a driver, you get an Uber driver, you find someone who's sober to drive you. It's ridiculous, and it costs the life of someone it should never happen in any walk of life. And especially if you have means and money, there's no reason that you should get behind the wheel. Anyone with a brain should realize you do not do that. So he just took the life of someone, and so it's just a crazy situation. He's gone from the Raiders, the NFL. Who knows what's going to happen to him legally right now at this point between jail and stuff, but career very well possibly over, but that's not the important thing after what had just happened, taking a life. How do the Raiders rebound from this? I don't know. They found a way to rebound from John Gruden, but now this is actually a life and death situation that just happened. So I just think it's a lot for them to overcome, and you're going from West Coast to East Coast, playing a Giants team that's playing pretty hard. Almost found a way to upset Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs, who are still struggling on Monday Night Football, but found a way the Chiefs to win. But the Giants almost pulled that off. No Saquon Barkley. They're getting a few other players back this week. Saquon Barkley's missing his 4th game with injury. But I think Daniel Jones and the Giants will find a way to get it done. The Raiders, too many obstacles this week. Maybe they find a way to rally together. I just think it's too many obstacles. I think the Giants beat the Raiders in kind of an ugly game. I'll go with 23-20. They win by a field goal at the end of the game, but just a terrible situation with the Vegas Raiders right now, with the craziness and terrible tragic news that just happened. 4:05 for the late games. 4:05 on CBS. The LA Chargers at the Philadelphia Eagles. The EAGLES Eagles. Eagles, of course. People thought, even I picked the Eagles to win, but I was worried. The Lions came close to winning that game. Maybe they were going to find a way against the mediocre Eagles. Not to be. Eagles were up 44-0. They ended up winning 44-6. Lions got a late touchdown. Eagles destroyed the Lions, but that's not bragging too much, because Lions are 0-8. They were the first team to go 0-16 in the season. Now there's the extra game, a 17 game. They're probably going to go 0-17 this year. They had a few close calls, including losing on that 66-yard record-breaking field goal by Justin Tucker and the Ravens. Nice the Eagles won. They're 3-5. Jalen Hurts played pretty well. Jordan Howard scored a couple touchdowns, but I think even West Coast, East Coast, but I think LA Chargers, mad as heck, they're not going to take it more. Losing to the Patriots last week, I think the Eagles' defense, secondary, have no answer for Justin Herbert and that dynamic offense and great receivers for the Chargers. I think the Chargers are going to beat the Eagles. I think Jalen Hurts and the Eagles and the Philly crowd will be pumped. They'll probably be cold there. They'll probably be as crazy as possible. It's a tough place to play in Philly. for especially an opposition road team. I think Philly will keep it close for a while, but the Chargers pull away at the end. I'll go with 30-23. They win by 7 points. Too much Justin Herbert on offense. 30-23. Chargers over the Eagles on Sunday at 4 or 5 on CBS. 4:25 on Fox, which could be the game of the day still, was supposed to be the greatest dynamic matchup of, I think it was the first time they were able to play each other in a game. Aaron Rodgers, great State Farm pitchman, reigning MVP, versus Pat Mahomes, a former MVP and Super Bowl champion. Packers at Chiefs, not to be because, of course, Aaron Rodgers is not vaccinated, tested positive for COVID after they had COVID issues with Devontae Adams and a lot of other great players, and they still found a way to beat the previous undefeated Arizona Cardinals last Thursday Night Football. Apparently, he went on the Pat McAfee podcast show today, was talking about the woke media and blaming everyone else and hanging out with Joe Rogan, the podcast guy, comedian. He's a funny guy, but I don't think I'm taking medical advice from him. He's not a doctor. He's not Dr. Fauci or anyone who has credentials to tell you what you should take. He's supposedly bragging he's taking that Vectormin, whatever, that horse dewormer thing. And him and his fiancée, Shailene Woodley, and Miles Teller's buddy, I don't know. They apparently don't seem to want to take the vaccine. He claimed, there's an allergy to something in the vaccine. But then he kind of lied about it, and then says he's not lying because he said early in the offseason he has nothing against people who personal choice if they didn't want to get vaccinated, but he was immunized. So then they're like, oh, but you lied because you weren't vaccinated. But then supposedly he was mad that it came out, and he's saying that technically I didn't say I was vaccinated, but I said I was immunized because he supposedly petitioned the NFL to try to get his antibodies up. But they're like, unless you're vaccinated, it doesn't count. Either way, Aaron Rodgers is going to miss this week. Earliest to come back is the day before they play the Seattle Seahawks, a tough game next week with no practice, but maybe a very great you let him play. Or maybe Jordan Love plays great, they don't have to worry about it. But Renee, your Green Bay Packers, they're playing great this year. They have to lose that opening game to the New Orleans Saints, getting crushed. They've won 7 in a row, beat the Arizona Cardinals last week, who were previously undefeated. But I think going on the road to Kansas City Chiefs, they're not perfect. The Chiefs' defense is flawed. The offense has been struggling. Pat Mahomes turned the ball too much. But I think the Chiefs are going to get done. I think Jordan Love will do okay. But I think in the end, Jordan Love and the Packers will be mediocre. They're not going to have that Aaron Rodgers magic. He's still a dynamic player. But for better or worse, maybe it's a good thing. Blessing in disguise. You get to see what Jordan Love could do in a big game. But I think Jordan Love will do okay, but just not enough. I think Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, and Andy Reid, they're just going to find a way. Slowly but surely, they're not going to look pretty, but they're going to get a little bit better each week. And I still think they have a chance to get in the playoffs. I don't think they're going to win a Super Bowl this year. I think they're too flawed, especially defensively. But I think the Chiefs are going to beat the Packers with no Rodgers. I think Aaron Rodgers was healthy. I think the Packers would probably win this game. I think a desperate Chiefs team are now 4-4 after barely beating the Giants on Monday Night Football. I think the Chiefs beat the Packers without Aaron Rodgers. I'll go with the offense not scoring over 30 points a game like they normally do. I'll go with 27 to 20. I'll go with a close game. I'll go with 27-24. They win on a late field goal. The Chiefs win. And it was just, to me, again, it seems like a selfish decision and dishonest decision by Aaron Rodgers. I don't necessarily like what Kyrie Irving or Kirk Cousins, people who bragging they don't get vaccinated, but at least they're up front that they don't want to get vaccinated. But I think Aaron Rodgers was disingenuous. He was lying. He misled people, making them think he was vaccinated. Then it seems annoying and blaming everyone but himself. Didn't look good in that interview today. I think if he thinks that he looked good in that interview, I think he's got a screw loose. But I think it was a selfish move for his team. It hurts his team, hurts his team's chances, and he puts other people at risk. So a very crazy situation with Aaron Rodgers this week. Packers still playing great this year. I think they'll play tough. Jordan Love will play pretty well. Chiefs barely edged them out because no Rodgers, and Pat Mahomes, the Chiefs do enough at home. Win 27-24 on a last-second field goal over the Packers. Chiefs win 4:25 on Fox. 4:25 on Fox, the Arizona Cardinals. Kyler Murray's a game-time decision. I think he'll find a way to play. At San Francisco Giants, Jimmy Garoppolo. I said San Francisco 49ers. Jimmy Garoppolo gets hurt a lot. Trey Lance has been hurt. The rookie correct who's supposed to be his replacement. I think Garoppolo will play okay here at home in San Francisco, but I think Arizona too much to handle, especially if Kyler Murray can play. If Kyler Murray can't play, I think they might be in danger of losing the Niners. I think Kyler Murray at home, divisional opponent, Kyler Murray and Cliff Kingsbury, that dynamic offense will get it done. The key players, DeAndre Hopkins, all the key receivers there, they'll find a way. James Conner's getting a lot of touchdowns. I think 8 touchdowns in 8 games for the former Steeler. Pittsburgh native. I think Arizona gets it done. They beat the Niners. Kind of a close, ugly game, but I'll go with 27-23. They win by 4 points over the 49ers. Arizona wins. Get back there and win away. Sunday Night Football, 8:20 on NBC. Tennessee Titans at the LA Rams. Could be a potential Super Bowl preview. It was a Super Bowl back in 1999, January 2000. You have a Kurt Warner, his lifetime story in the movie theaters coming out on Christmas Day. Should be a great movie. Zachary Levi playing Kurt Warner, Anna Paquin playing his wife. I think Dennis Quaid playing Dick Vermeil in the movie, the Rams inspiring coach, former Eagle coach. But unfortunately, you're not going to have the Tennessee Titans at full strength because they've been playing great. They just won a great game in overtime over the Colts after beating the Bills the week before Monday Night Football. Derrick Henry, who was running away probably with the MVP this year, he's out potentially 6 to 10 weeks. Serious surgery he got on his foot. Hopefully he can come back, be ready for the playoffs. The Titans are playing well. Maybe they find a way to get in the playoffs either way. They signed the very kind of, for football running backs, old but finds a way to get it done. Adrian Peterson, not what he used to be when he was a great player for the Minnesota Vikings for those years, but maybe they can find a way to stem the tide. Ryan Tannehill in the offense and Julio Jones will hopefully be able to get play pretty well to do as best they can. Even though in many ways Derrick Henry is the main focal point of that offense, running the ball. Mike Vrabel and that Titans defense, a proud defense. I think they'll try their best, but I think Derrick Henry, and they slowly gave him a big running game, they would have had a chance. Without Derrick Henry, it's a big loss. If they find a way to make the playoffs, if Henry can't come back, I think they're in trouble. If he comes back, maybe they can make a run in the playoffs. But I think this game, with no Derrick Henry, I think LA Rams at home, Matthew Stafford, Sean McVay, too much offensive firepower. They got Von Miller now. The defense is stacked. Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, Von Miller, and then Cooper Kupp on offense. Too much offense, too much defense firepower. LA Rams at home. Knock off the Derrick Henry list. Tennessee Titans, I think they close for a little while. Titans hold it close for a while. Rams pull away. I'll go with 30-17. They win by 13 over the Titans. Sunday football. Last but not least, Monday, November 8th. It's also Cadence's 11th birthday. Happy birthday to Cadence. Great kid. 8:15 on ESPN. The Bears at the Pittsburgh Steelers. My wife Steelers in Pittsburgh. Here we go. Pittsburgh's going to the Super Bowl. Probably not, but they're playing pretty well. They're starting off with a nice road win against the Bills in Week 1. They lost 3 in a row, and they've now won 3 in a row, and now they are 4-3. Went to the game on Sunday Football when they beat the Seahawks without Russell Wilson, who now looks like he's going to be back after the bye week. And now the Steelers 4-3, playing pretty well. 115-10 last week. Didn't look pretty. Ben Roethlisberger in that offense still not dynamic, but they're getting it done. No Juju Smith-Schuster the rest of the year. He's hurt. Still got Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool, that Pat Freiermuth, the tight end, the rookie they got from Penn State. Heck of a tight end. Caught the game-winning touchdown pass off a bobble. Got his 2 feet in. Big touchdown on 4th and goal. And they went for some crazy trick play where Chris Boswell, their kicker, got destroyed. So now they got Josh, I think his name is Josh Lambo, the former Jaguar kicker, got cut a few weeks ago. He's going to be the kicker this week because I don't know when Boswell's going to get back. They didn't have a kicker last week when Boswell got injured on that play. So the simple chip shot field goals, they couldn't go. They didn't trust the punter to kick a field goal. Steelers found a way to survive. Hopefully their new kicker doesn't come back to bite them, that they have to rely on him because Chris Boswell's out. Justin Fields tries best as a rookie, run and throw the ball, keep it close. The Bears' defense is tough against a mediocre Steeler offense, so they'll probably be able to keep the game close with the Steelers' offense not running away with anything with Ben on his last legs, probably his last year. But in the end, I think the Steelers' defense is top-notch. TJ Watt, possibly Defensive Player of the Year, should have won it last year. Minka Fitzpatrick, Joe Hayden, too much Steeler firepower on defense, even after they traded Melvin Ingram to the Kansas City Chiefs. He wasn't playing much, former Charger star. I think the Steelers too much defense for a rookie quarterback like Justin Fields to really take control of that game. I think he's going to have trouble and make some key turnovers like Geno Smith did. And he's not maybe a Geno Smith's poor level playing, but I think he'll make some poor decisions as rookie quarterbacks do, turn over the ball. And TJ Watt will punch the ball out, I think, like he likes to do. Maybe a few picks by Joe Hayden or Minka Fitzpatrick in the secondary. Too much Steeler defense. Defense is struggle. I think the Steelers, my wife Steelers, went on Monday Night Football. Close game. I'll go with 16-10. I'd say that they win by 6 points, 16-10. Steelers over the Bears. They win their 4th game in a row, get to 5-3, and hey, Mike Tomlin's never had a losing season. Maybe he finds a way to keep having a winning record and find a way to get in the playoffs. With right now, as the playoffs that started today, they'd be in the playoffs with that extra playoff team to go in 7 teams from each conference. So Steelers win 16-10 over the Chicago Bears. So those are my Week 9 NFL picks. The bye week teams this week. Let's see who's off. 4 teams are off. Detroit Lions, they need the whole season off. They've been playing so terribly. They're 0-8. They're off this week. Seattle Seahawks are off. And then after they have that win against the crappy Jaguars last week, Geno Smith played well in that game, but now it looks like they'll get their great running back, their great quarterback, running and throwing the ball. Great Russell Wilson will be back when they come back from the bye week for that game against the Packers with Aaron Rodgers, maybe on one-day rest, or maybe he won't play. Who knows? After coming back from the COVID, have to stay away for 10 days because of not being unvaccinated. And then Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Tom Brady and company, just throwing the ball, playing great, doing a great job. But they found a way. Brady played tough in that game, but made some key turnovers, going to pick six late in that game. The Saints found a way to beat them. So they've had a little bit of his number in the regular season, but the Buccaneers beat them in the playoffs last year. They lost both times in the rest of last year. The Saints lost in the rest of this year. So the Buccaneers will try to bounce back from that defeat when they come back next week. But the Buccaneers and Brady, who still probably I would say the favorites to win the Super Bowl again, with the LA Rams and Buffalo Bills kind of right up there with them. Buccaneers will be off, and then the stinky Washington football team that's playing terrible. They're also Lions, Seahawks, Buccaneers, and Washington have the four teams that are off this week with the bye week. Quickly, I'll rattle off my picks again. We know the Jets lost to the Colts 45-30. I'll go with Saints over the Falcons, Cowboys over the Broncos, Patriots over the Panthers, Ravens over the Vikings, Bengals over the Browns, Bills lock of the week crushing the Jaguars, Dolphins beating the Houston Texans in an ugly game, Giants over the Raiders, Chargers over the Eagles, Chiefs without Aaron Rodgers knocking off the Packers in a close win. Chiefs win that. Arizona over San Francisco, they'll be in the Niners. And then the Rams beating the Titans without Derrick Henry, and Steelers over the Bears. So those are my Week 9 NFL predictions. Be there, be square, take doom, call me in the morning. It is not a tumor or things of that nature. Ha ha, hasta la vista, baby. And C is for cookie, that's good enough for me. C is for cookie, that's good enough for me. Ha. New season of Sesame Street, by the way, for all the parents out there and the kids. HBO Max, it premieres, and then eventually come to PBS. HBO Max this upcoming Thursday on Veterans Day, November 11th. New season every Thursday, 35 episodes. Fun, the kids love it. Elmo, Cookie Monster, and company. New season of Sesame Street start this Thursday, so that's exciting too. So those are my Week 9 NFL predictions. Hopefully Penn State bounces back and can beat Maryland on Saturday. Notre Dame keeps playing well. So football picks, love to hear from you if you agree, disagree, love to hear from you. So football picks, basketball, hockey, very excited as those seasons well in way. Baseball, great job with the Atlanta Braves, congrats, first World Series title in 26 years. Just a lot of great stuff. Movies, new Marvel superhero movie, The Eternals, coming out with Angelina Jolie and a bunch of other famous people. Kit Harington from Game of Thrones, General Snow, bunch of people in it, and a lot of cool teasers and Easter eggs at the end of the movie. So Marvel gets a new superhero movie, only in movie theaters, so you have to check it out there if you want to see it. It came out today on November 5th, but Marvel's The Eternals comes out today, so check that out if you want to watch that. And then next week, The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Ryan Reynolds, and Gal Gadot are going to have a movie, I think, called Red Notice. It looks like an action comedy on Netflix. And Jungle Cruise, big-time movie hit from earlier in the year that was available on Disney+. If you paid for it, go to the theaters, it will be for free on Disney+, starting next Friday, November 12th. So The Rock will be in a lot of things you can see, as he always is, as the big movie star he is. Dune is doing well in the movie theaters and also available on HBO Max. The Sopranos prequel movie was good. Venom's still doing well. The last James Bond movie with Daniel Craig is still doing well. Halloween Kills available on Peacock movie theaters. That's doing well. It's a lot of movies, a lot of TV shows to watch, a lot of good stuff, and hopefully you're having a great time, staying warm in these frigid days in November. Hopefully I survive the half marathon for the 5th time. I know I'm crazy for trying to do that. And keep it locked. DJ Roscoe Sports Show, your home for all your favorite sports and entertainment talk. I'll sing a quick song to my beautiful wife, Abby. Lorelai, my beautiful daughter, almost 4 years old, a little over 4 years old, and LJ will be 2 in January. Beautiful family there. And I'll sing, what song should I sing? Oh, Casey and JoJo. All my life, I pray for someone like you, and I pray that you feel the same way too. Yes, I hope that you do love me too. I know they hate when I say, all my life, I pray for someone like you, and I hope that you do love me too. Yes, I pray that you feel the same way too. So, love you, beautiful Abby, my beautiful wife, beautiful son LJ, beautiful daughter Lorelai, And that ugly guy right there, that's me. That's Danny Roscoe, DJ Roscoe, who's going to run a marathon because he's insane. Half marathon. I wouldn't do a full marathon. I'm not that insane. I'm only half insane. So keep it locked, DJ Roscoe Sports Show. Your favorite. Thanks for Casey and JoJo for that great song, All My Life. Great song from the late 90s. Keep it locked, DJ Roscoe Sports Show, your home for all your favorite sports and entertainment talk. Adele has a new CD about to come out in another week or two. Taylor Swift has a new CD, a new album. Zach Brown has a new album. Movies, shows. It's all good. We got a lot of cool stuff. There's holiday movies on Netflix and Hallmark Channel already. So keep it locked. DJ Roscoe Sports. Enjoy the new Marvel superhero movie. Enjoy the football. Enjoy Penn State. Enjoy the NFL. And keep it locked. DJ Roscoe Sports Show. Your home for all your favorite sports and entertainment talk right here. DJ Roscoe Sports Show. I hope you had a great Halloween. Got a lot of candy. Ate a lot of your kids' candy. And we enjoyed dressing up as Spider-Man and Ghost Spidey. And we had a great time. And happy Veterans Day. Hope you voted on Election Day. And we'll see you next week for Week 10 of the NFL season on the DJ Roscoe Sports Show. Have a great weekend, everyone, and take care. Bye-bye.